you need to de-risk going from small scale to large scale through subsidies, loans, state-backed, et cetera, et cetera. So those are really, and the other thing I think that could be useful, again, talking about, how to produce in Europe, I think there are a lot of assets to be reused in Europe, either that are unused today or that are transitioning. I mean, if you talk about, batteries, you have people doing lead-acid batteries. Yeah. Well, changing those factories but they belong to somebody. They belong to Valeo, to Bosch, to Siemens, to somebody. And so it would be a good use of our resources to reuse these facilities, to partner with the large groups, the Schneider, the Alstom, Bosch, Valeo, car companies, reuse these plants in a partnership. But obviously, in those negotiations between startups and big groups, the leverage is not really where we would want it. So I think there, the Europe governments and supra-government entities such as the European Commission or EIB or the emissions of Europe, generally speaking, can help in maybe steering or giving leverage back to the startup. So, for instance, in a partnership between a startup and a large company, those consortiums typically in the old, the EU does that. They do it fairly well, but they tend to be led by the large companies. So, if you give the leverage to small guys and say we're really investing in that innovation, and you, large group, is the facilitator in that innovation, then you give the leverage back to the startup, which can choose its industrial partner and not the other way around.